Hello readers, I'm Amy and I'm your nonfiction feminist. Today we are looking at the end of my year and the start of my next one with the end of the year book tag. Now I believe this is brought to us by Ariel Bissett, or at least that's where all of the links seem to lead. If I'm totally off base with this, please let me know in the comments so that I can give credit to the right person, okay? So, let's get this started. First question, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Generally, if I start books, specifically fiction books, like if I pick them up and then I put it down, I could very well just not pick it up again, because generally if I'm going to read it, then I end up picking it up again within like the week. But one book that I've picked up and have not continued since starting it like a month ago is A Vindication of the Rights of Woman by Mary Wollstonecraft. This is not only a classic, but it's a classic nonfiction. In this case, the language mixed with the content is a little rough for me. All I've read so far is To M. Talleyrand Perigord, late Bishop of Autun, which is apparently a French commune. So I haven't even started the chapters yet. There's a little advertisement here. I think I'm very overexposed today. Very bright in this room now that I have my new camera. I skipped the introduction to this book because I didn't think I would need to read it, but looking at the language, the introduction might be good to start with. I might just kind of have to follow the classic college textbook rule of read the introduction, read the conclusion, and then like kind of skim through the stuff in between. So, I don't know. I might just end up having to do a video eventually on how I read this book. Because this isn't, I think, going to be a traditional sit down and read it from beginning to end kind of a book. Yeah, it's going to be a heavy one. So, next question. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? Before starting BookTube, I honestly didn't realize that, like, reading by the seasons was a thing outside of, like, holiday seasons. So I guess I've already transitioned. I mean, I've read some pretty creepy books lately. If I have to name one, it would be Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin. I just finished that, like, a couple weeks ago. I really loved it. There's a woman and her husband move into an apartment. The woman gets pregnant and starts becoming suspicious of her neighbors who are in a satanic cult. So, it was really, really good. It's a classic for a reason. It's totally worth reading, and it's not very long. But that kind of got me in the October mood, which I am reading according to Halloween. But again, I didn't know this was a thing before joining BookTube, so I guess it's going to start being a thing for me now. Is there a new release that you're still waiting for? I have a long and a short answer for this. Short answer is no. Long answer, I just went on my honeymoon after being married for like a year and a half. It's late, but a lot of people are like that nowadays because they're expensive. I went to Vegas with my mother. I'm saving up to go to a wedding in Mexico in March. And I just took an extra sick day off, so I have no time off. I have no money. I have stuff that I'm saving up for. So, no. Also, I've never really watched for new releases. I was waiting for Amanda Lovelace's most recent entry in her Women Are Magic poetry series, which I got earlier this year. And I was waiting for the third installment of the Road to Nowhere series by Meg Ellison, which I got. But that was really unusual for me to look forward to new releases. I usually just look at what's already out. I don't really look at what's coming next, because then you have the waiting game, and I really suck at waiting because I'm really impatient, and I just don't really look to new releases. Next question, what 3 books are you still wanting to read before the end of the year? So one of them is the next book that I want to read in my reading of the Brontes, and that is Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. If you don't know, I'm working my way through the Brontes. I hear Wuthering Heights is a really tough read for a lot of people, and Anne Bronte is really underrated. So I went ahead and read The Tenant of Wildfell Hall and Agnes Grey, both by Anne Bronte. Both of them I absolutely loved. I think I actually liked Agnes Grey a little more. And next is Charlotte Bronte and then Emily Bronte. And Shirley, I don't know if it's the next in publication, but it's the one out of this one and Villette and Jane Eyre that I think I'm most looking forward to reading. Jane Eyre is the last Charlotte Bronte that I'm going to read, because again, it's a chunker and it's just really hyped up for being a really big classic, so I want to make my way through the less famous ones first. And then The Uses of Enchantment, The Meaning and Importance of Fairy Tales. I got this from the Book Depository earlier this year. It was in like my spring or summer haul. It's the nonfiction I think I'm looking forward to most. It is really tiny writing, so we'll see how that goes. My lighting is just like really overexposed, but this looks really interesting. I love fairy tales as much as the next person, and I just want to go more in depth about them. And the next one is kind of a cheat because it's 3 books. I had previously read Ring by Koji Suzuki. This is what the movie Ring was based off of. I don't know how they got from point A to point B, but I didn't watch the movie because it freaked me out too much. But the book is pretty good, and I recently learned that it's actually part of a series, so I would like to read the whole series, and I'm hopefully going to finish that in October because it is a horror series. Also, if you can see it in this lighting, these covers are all lined and spirally and amazing. Focus, camera. Focus. So, yeah, 3 books that I want to read before the year is up. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite of the year? No. I have a general idea of what I'm reading for the rest of the year, and I also have a general idea of what I am already absolutely in love with. And considering some of the books that I've just fallen head over heels for in this last year, I don't think there's anything that's going to top those, and I really just don't think anything is going to take me by surprise at this point. Last question, have you already started making reading plans for 2018? I have. I wasn't expecting to already have plans, but I do have plans. In January, I am supposed to do a buddy read of Mr. Mercedes. It's the first book in this trilogy. I'm supposed to be reading it with Hillary from Melted Books, so I will check in with her about that later this year. For some reason, this is just one that's been catching my eye lately. Even though there are other Stephen King books that I think I would like to read more, this one just keeps catching my eye. I don't know if it's the white cover or the shiny umbrella or what. But yes, I'm supposed to buddy read this in January. What else do I have on my list? I've had to start keeping a list to keep track of everything. Oh, I will try and put a picture up here of the tweets, but Joshana from Joshana C. recently put up a tweet just making a joke about the read some shit readathon, where like she should just have the goal be to read some shit. And I told her, like, you should actually make this into a thing and encourage people to read. So now it's actually a thing that I'm going to co-host with her next year, where we're going to pick, what was it, like 3 to 5 people in our lives who want to read more, and encourage them to read more and talk about the tips that we gave them and do like a check-in with them throughout the year and turn it into an actual thing for the Read Some Shit readathon. So that's really exciting and totally random, and I love it. And oh, I have one other project. I came up with, I think, a pretty cute video idea for Valentine's Day. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm at this point, I keep waiting for the next week or the next month to come along so I can make the video that I want to make for that time. So I'm kind of having trouble enjoying where I'm at now because I've got so much stuff that I'm looking forward to in the future. You ever feel like that? Like you look forward to so much other stuff that you can't really enjoy where you're at? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. besides that, I'm just looking to really buckle down on reading my TBR because my TBR is, as usual, getting very, very out of control. But isn't that always the case? The things I do for BookTube and for my viewers. This is all for you. You are the reason that I took all of these books off the shelf and put them on the floor. So, hope you appreciate. I will see you all in the next one after I'm done cleaning up this mess. Bye, friends.